Okay, 2020 report. Company personnel. Any video game that has not been screened shall be banned and outlawed. How do we know someone isn't brainwashing our people on their off time as they sit there? How we know that no offense, how we know Billy Gates is not in control of the world? Are people out there playing Xbox in many hours, more hours than we trained them? They're beginning to think it's a simulator for the real thing, can account for a lot of errors and a lot of errors in judgment. When they say things like, hey, it's like the same thing. This isn't a Kevin Hart movie. We got 3 seconds before to pick the hand grenade up and throw it back. This is not a Kevin Hart movie. Okay, this is real. This is real in the field. Remember that. It's real in the field. Just brainwash that in your head. It's real in the field. And training is not real. In the video game, it's not real. In the briefing, it's not real. En route, oh God, en route briefing, it's still not real. It's not real when you jump out of the plane. It's real when you hit the ground, though. It's real in the field. There's no room for error. You cannot be imagining you playing some video game in the field. Now, unless you're a liar, you will raise your hand. Who has not had a video game flashback? Do you notice like a Vietnam having a vet having a flashback, a war vet having a flashback? I remember when it hit me. I was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas day and night, like the rest of the world. And do you know when you're riding down the street, your mind will flash thoughts like, I can just jump out and jack them for that car. I mean, not maybe, not fantasizing, like for real, for real. And then you say, oh, the games are drugs. They are mind drugs. They take control of people just like drugs. They stop everything but the drug. You know how a drug works. A drug addict doesn't care about nothing but the drug. They don't even eat until they're about to die. Same way with people playing those games. They stop sleeping. They stop everything to play the game. It's a drug. Now, mental illness is spread through communication. There's a lot of mental illness being spread in these games. There's pictures being sent to you, your child, that would not have been sent in real life. We're way on another level of insanity now that hasn't been before. Yeah, they've been insane for a long time, and we've came up with some new sources of crazy, new causes of it. Things our mind didn't imagine, we're putting in there. Now, here comes the video dreams. See, your thoughts are made of memories. If you got video dream memories, your mind doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a video game experience, especially as realistic as they're making the games. So, it's a drug. Has to be dealt with as such. I'm serious. You can't get your husband and your child off games no matter how much you fuss, just like drugs. Try it. They will fight you and bite you for interfering with them while they're using their drugs. They will hurt you if you try to take their drugs from them. They will get violent. Come on now, you don't think they'll get violent? Walk up and unplug the game or cut off the internet. You'll see rage in their eyes. They'll be ready to murder you. And you want to tell me it's not a bad drug? Someone's going to kill you over a fantasy, make-believe, imaginary thing? Snatch someone's phone out their hand if you don't think device heads are out there addicted to devices. They will kill you. They get violent when the internet goes off. When their phone hits the ground, they barely can survive the ordeal. They almost die on the spot the minute their phone cracks. And you'll see them come up with money they didn't have to replace that phone. They need a new tire and they haven't replaced it. Risking their life driving on bad tires, but they're going to replace that phone. They can have a broken window and the weather's coming in. I ain't got money for a new window yet. Just put a piece of cardboard over it. But that phone, they're going to replace that phone. They're addicted to it. And that's another report completely by itself. Our tech addiction, okay? Under the guise of progress, we're becoming addicted to machines. Machines that are handicapping us. You don't use it, you lose it. Every action that you substitute doing it yourself for a machine, you lose it. See, getting up, walking over there, and turning the TV was exercise. Sitting there with the remote control turning the TV is not. Getting up, going to have to turn the TV off was exercise. Sitting there pushing a button to turn the TV off is not. Having to get up and go answer the phone was exercise. The phone's in your pocket is not. Do you understand what's going down and how all of a sudden you got sick and weak? They made things easy for you, you thought. Then why are you having such a hard time just getting around and just living? If it made it easier, it appeared to be easier in the short term. In the long term, it wasn't. So, a person has the right to do drugs, I guess, if they want to, no matter the law says you can't, but the law can't dictate to you what you can do personally. It just can't do it, all right? It can't even tell you you can't use drugs. It can tell you you can't sell drugs to our people and inside our society, but it can't tell you what you can and can't do. So, person wants to use a video game, okay, cool. But if you are a person in charge and responsible for their actions, that means that if they mess up, it's on your head. You better consider what I'm saying. Take this for instance. What if the president was addicted to video games like World of War and Battlefield? Would that explain something to you about us having to be in a war, or while not thinking nothing about it, or going about it like a video game? Do you realize that's what they're doing? Ever since I was a kid, my friends went to the military, and I was too young, and I went to the Job Corps. And when I found out what they did, you know what he told me? He said, "Man, I don't get nowhere near the war. I sit in a vehicle hundreds of miles away, and that's all I could tell you." But I knew what he meant. They're sitting there operating a tank, and on their screen is a video game, but it's moving a real tank. It's flying a real plane, a real drone, but they're playing video games still. So the soldiers are fighting a war with video games, and they're telling you this is a training tool now. But I'm telling you, it's an addiction. People will kill you about these things. Like I said, try it if you think you're bold. and you got a good point, just walk up and unplug the game while they're playing and see how violent they get. You better call the police first before you do. You better call the police, I'm telling you, because they're going to attack you. Just like any drug addict, you go up and snatch the drugs from a drug addict. He's going to try to kill you. Well, the same way. You're the boss. You cannot have government agents having video game flashbacks, video episodes of any kind. No kinds of mental illness or no kind of mental anything during store hours. Do you understand? This happens. You want to know what's the mechanism that makes it unsafe? That last song you heard playing over and over in your head for days, weeks. It plays and plays in your head until you hear music again. I'm for real. The last song you heard, you can hear it clear as day. For a week later, if until you hear some more music, the same way with these video games, it just hangs. It hangs in your brain. It just hangs in your brain. So violent games banned from use with people who have a job that they may encounter violence, such as a police officer, a soldier, a fireman, many people, okay? Public servants, we have to scan these games to make sure that they have to be tested as to the effect that they have on people, okay? They have to be tested to see if they make a person violent, okay? Because anything that you do over 15 times becomes a habit. And sitting there playing this video game, you start having video game flashbacks like a Vietnam vet. I'm for real. You start seeing the game out in the real world. You know, I seriously was thinking about jumping out and snatching the car in the next lane from playing GTA. I mean, it really went through my head. Not once, not twice. It kept happening. That's why I'm mentioning it. Okay? Now I'm thinking Battlefield people. Hey, they're thinking about shooting someone. I can just hide behind this crack right here and pick them off. So, this is the way we go. We scan them. Nothing. We I got my research company will be set up. Most games we would probably do and test and be hired by the people to clear their games. But if you have any questions, just bring it down. Bring it down. We'll scan it for subliminals. We'll scan it for everything and give you back the results. You got some music that you have question about that something may be in and we'll scan it and we'll give you the results of the research we did and the effect it had on children, husband, women, and wow. Now that may take a while, okay? But we can scan it for subliminals and all these things immediately and get the results back to you. Now we have to wait for the long-term people testing because this information keeps coming because we don't never stop testing it. All right, we give what we have at the time, and then we still come up with new findings. So those who buy it later end up with more information than those who got it early when we first started the research because they were in a hurry. Okay, and they think they have the facts, but they don't have all the facts. So just a word to the wise. I have games out there myself. I'm starring in games. I make games. I'm the pilot. Like they strap up basketball players and artists to make games. I'm the number one guy doing it now. Okay? So when I tell you this, you make sure, okay? Now, that you can be sure of. If you see my company's mark, if you see my endorsement on a game, it's been cleared. Before I would even participate in it, I had it cleared. I have it in writing that none of this crap is in this game or will be put in this game or it won't be used for these things. And we also did the research on We're doing it constantly. Long term, what is this effect is having? See, I don't really make those kind of games. I make life simulators, okay? Things that you can go out and have a flashback with in life and it'll do you some good, okay? Things that are actually like like a flight simulator. When you play a flight simulator game, you can actually go out and fly a plane. You can actually, you're ready to start flight school, okay? Now, depending on the game format, you would have to have the whole virtual reality and the chair vibrations and the vest and gloves and everything to get the full experience for it to be just like doing the real thing. So the real thing, it's no substitute for the real thing. You can't go jump in a plane and fly it. You are only ready to go take real training. You're only ready to go take real training. Training. That's all. Okay. Now, so guard against it. And we can't have people being addicted to weird stuff, doing crazy things. And this is one of the causes of it. There's going to be, this will be elaborated further in the device addiction thing. This was mainly to talk about addictions that affect business or affect government. All right? Can't have things affecting government. Okay? Prescription medicine seems to be more addictive than holistic natural plant treatment of the same thing. All pills come from a plant. It seems that in pill form things become more habitual. You know, there's something about the unnatural part of it creates an unnatural craving. But when taken naturally, it's just like you know, you don't crave a particular food. Your stomach just gets hungry. That craving stuff is in your brain, and that's where it takes place at. These other cravings, they're in your mind, all right? And your body responds to whatever you think. If you think you got highs, it pops highs. If you think you got a problem in your mind because you're not getting something you're addicted to, it will have physical effects. You know, it will have physical effects. So, the coffee is out of there. The video games have to be cleared. I know, man. It's hurting me too, man. I'm trying to make big money in this stuff, man. I feel like I'm hurting myself now, but I can't be one of those people who's selling the public poison and don't care because it's making me big money. It's not hurting me. I can't do that. I'm for to expose those type of things. You know, this is the self-preservation society. I can't. Someone come up and say, "Hey, he's over there talking about self-preservation. He's one of the killers." No, 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 no. That's what knocked everybody out of the election. Okay, that they were guilty of the things that they were elected to protect you from, things to handle. Okay, they were. So now, this is a note in the 2020 report. We're gonna list everything that has your business going wrong, has the government going wrong, has your household going wrong, your body going wrong, your garden going wrong. It's the bird. Why the birds can't seem to find their way south anymore will be covered. Believe me. But there's levels to these bells. All right, you have to understand that classifications are up there. Okay, no government wants to be stuck on stupid. All right. It can't come out that the president has any mental problems. So everybody country's gonna want it first, so we can secure our president and down the line fast as possible. Because when this stuff hits, that everyone has issues, the first thing they're gonna think is, oh my God, the cops have a gun and they have these problems. Soldiers have tanks and they have this problem. One of us is sitting in these nuclear silos with this key around his neck. Oh my God. People with mental problems are running the country. They're running everything. That's why everything's screwed up. I know a couple of them, and he's a real sick puppy. See, now people going to be like, how you going to be a judge if you have these problems right here? You can't be a judge. And they've been a judge for 30 years. Do you understand how quick they're going to get in line? They'll say, not me, I'm cured, I'm fixed, you know. I've been treated. You need to get treatment. I can see in your face you have issues. Just you coming to me about this subject has issues. You know, they're going to be coming to you like you're going to run into them like as if you approach me with that. All right? It's only a fool that will approach me with a conversation about the mind, okay? Or the world or anything really. You know, if they approach me about something except their chosen occupation in which I know they know better than me, their field and terminology and stuff in that field, it'd be ludicrous. It would be crazy of them. I've demonstrated to have superior intelligence, all right, in those areas. Well, everyone who's treated will be responding just like this. It's like when this is how you'll know the difference. When churches come and knock on the average person's door, they don't know what to do. They hide, they do whatever. They sit there and listen to people talk for hours about something that they care about, but they're not interested in it right now. But they feel guilty if they don't listen. Here's what a person is clear, dudes. Stop. Can we talk to you? No. Why? Why you want to talk to him? We just want to share. Why do you want to share it with? Well, we feel there's nothing you can tell me I don't already know. I know better than you. I should be teaching you, but I don't have the time. I'm doing something else. Sorry, don't want you to waste your time or mine. With love, gotta let you go. Have a good day. Can we leave a couple of pamphlets? You can do whatever you want. Now, if they end up in the trash, uh, I'm not going to make those promises. I'm not going to promise I'm going to read them. I'm already talking to you when it's not on my agenda. That's 3, 4 minutes out of my day. Can you excuse me, please? Have a nice one. All right, and they're out. And remember, the rich and elite pride themselves on being elite. That means intelligent too. That they have information you're not privy to. All right, and they pay big money for these things. Okay, remember that. I'm the king. I've had the best teachers in the world. I can have the best teacher in the world. No one should be smarter than me. No one should be smarter than the prince. So you got to understand this is $1 billion baby here. All right? And I have mouths to feed. I'm not even going. The numbers would boggle your mind. Like, hey, what? He's going to feed his whole entire race, and more. All right. So understand that out of mercy, I shared the information to the public because the public's life is at risk. Higher level information, or really, they may get the same information as you. They just got it months and months ahead of you. Okay? That's what they're paying for, to get it hot off the press, to not wait until everyone's decided to not buy their stuff. to give them a chance to sell all their stuff out before it goes obsolete when the report drops, for everyone turns away, for them a chance to divest, for them a chance to invest. All right, that's what that's about. That's what they're paying money for. Okay, royalty pays for this. Presidents pays for this. Presidents' cabinets, and it trickles down. I'm telling you, everybody has at least 100 people. They need to have their head screwed on tight in order to maintain their position after the report drops. Because the report, man, the axes are gonna fly. People are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're a good doctor. I know you are. But if you haven't been scanned, you're not sticking a scalpel in me. I'm sorry. I don't want you treating me, period. I'm sorry. You might be having one of those days. I might remind you of your wife or your wife's lover. No, I'm sorry. No." So that's the way it's going to go. This has been an excerpt from the 2020 report. If you don't hear it, it's classified. That's just a joke, a company joke. But seriously, the reason you didn't hear it before is because it was classified. So, Sai, save yourself, SY. Once again, it's been a message from the Self Preservation Society. You know the rest.